Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Jason and the channel is the Everyday Card Collector. We are doing episode 7, I believe, of Mount Rushmore. I've got my partner with me, Aaron from Value Vintage Cards. How are you, sir?
Excellent, sir. How you doing tonight?
Very good as well. And then we also have a guest, and the topic tonight is going to be 60s and 70s food issues. So we thought this might be fun. We have a fantastic guest, awesome guy in the hobby. Everybody knows him. So let's get him on the stage right now. There he is.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Theo, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. This is going to be an awesome show. I hope some people check it out. We are constantly seeing videos with Topps and Bowman's cards, which is awesome. But we rarely ever see anybody shoot episodes with only food issue cards. I think this is going to be awesome. So
yeah, and it's perfect. And for the record, for everybody, Aaron and Theo kind of had to alter this up for me because I don't have a lot of food issue stuff. Initially, it was going to be 60s only, I believe, and we stretched it to the 70s so that I can kind of participate a little bit. So, shoot, let's get started. So, for those who don't know, Mount Rushmore, it's our top 4 of whatever topic we're talking about. We don't have to agree. We don't have to have the same 4. It's not based on anything but your opinion. What we will do is if someone brings up one and we have the same one in our Mount Rushmore, we will then show comment that we're on the same page for that particular showing, I guess is what we'll say. So I guess we'll kick it off always with our guest, and let me see if I'm hitting the right button here, Theo.
Absolutely.
Nope.
That's okay.
Nope. Let's try. Nope. Let's do this. I don't know how to do this.
You could click on your face and drag it into mine, and I'll take your screen.
Oh, look at that. Theo's an expert.
That's why you're bringing clothes on.
That's why he's on it right. For collectors, there he goes. He knows. All right, sir, kick it off.
Yeah,
You're first.
I just want to open with when I first started collecting Clemente cards, my goal was to collect his Topps base run and then kind of go from there. And I do have a lot of regrets doing it that way. And one of the main regrets was I wasn't looking at these food issue cards until like 6 months in to collecting Clemente, and I might have missed out on some great stuff, some great food issue cards that had high quality, and it turned out that they are my favorite cards to collect. I love collecting the food issue cards, and anybody out there that's only collecting Topps and Bowman, you're totally missing out on an awesome part of the hobby, an awesome part in card history. Anytime I have somebody into my card room, I love telling them the stories about the different food issue sets of the time period. And a lot of people were struggling back in those times in the 60s to be able to give their kid even 5 cents to get a pack of cards, but they would possibly be interested in buying a pack of hot dogs or buying a box of cereal. So kids that maybe didn't have the same amount of funds were able to also have cards. And the coolest thing about these cards too is a lot of them were disregarded. They were attached to a box. They were just thrown out. So the fact that these lasted the test of time and that some kids felt highly enough about them to keep them looking nice and to save them, it tells you a lot. So let me start off with my favorite food issue set of all time, period. Doesn't matter the decade. And my Mount Rushmore, I got to start with my favorite. And if anybody ever watches my channel, they know that this is my favorite set. It's the bazooka cards. So actually, I got a Dick Groat here to lead off. This is 1960 Dick Groat. And then here's the 1960 Clemente right there. They actually used the same green color on these two. So that's really, really cool. And the bazooka cards are really cool because they use different pictures and different photos that you don't see in any other sets of the time. A lot of times when you see the Topps cards, you're just seeing repetitive pictures over and over again. And Bazooka was able to get different images on their cards that, like I said, that weren't on everything. So I really think that's really cool. That's 1963. 1964 here, I got another Dick Groat card. That's the year he was with the Cardinals. He was with the Cardinals for a while, but that's his first year with the Cardinals. And then here's the 1964 Clemente. The other thing is my favorite bazooka set is a set that Clemente's not even in. It's 1959. It was the first year, and they had, and I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have seen them. They had the full side panel, the full back of the box was one card. And I really think if you're a Mickey Mantle fan or you're a Willie Mays fan, you have to get a 59 bazooka. Like you have to. It's just one of the best bazooka sets of all time. And there's 19.
Or a Nellie Fox fan.
Do you have the Nellie Fox 59?
I do not. I know someone who does though. he might be on the show with us right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I just love the fact baseball and bubblegum has gone together for so long, and Bazooka got to make these cards, and a lot of times the box had multiple cards on it, so a kid would get multiple cards, and I love them. I really want the 1968 Clemente card. It's my favorite Bazooka card that I don't own yet. So yeah, what do you guys have?
All right, Aaron. So my question to you first and foremost, was Bazooka in your top 4?
Bazooka would be in my top 4, and for me, one of the big criteria is that exact same thing. It's the really, really cool images. I think that's nailing what is so attractive, and the fact that they ran for so many years. You know, a lot of these that I think are amazing, it's like you got a one-off or you get a couple-year run, but you know, something like this, I agree. I think for me, that's one of the absolute best Clementes in his entire set. I mean, out of any card, like I love that image. Snagged that Musial, which was crazy because I grabbed that ungraded, and I'm not, you know, Mr. Grading, but I sent it in I was kind of curious if it was big enough to get a grade, and it got a 7, so that was neat. Wow. I've been adding Hank to the collection.
Nice.
So, yeah, trying to get a couple of those. That's a 66, 67, and then that crazy tough 68. I was able to snag a 68 of Hank. So that's a cool one. And I do have, I mean, that's one of them I have probably the most of. I'm trying to see where it even ends. I've got
68 you have the most of?
No, just Bazooka in general.
Okay.
Like when I grab players, like I've got multiples. I snagged a Billy Williams with an autograph on it. Like, nice. I love this stuff. I think it's awesome.
Cool.
So,
well, this is right up the value vintage tree as far as collecting. It's different. It's not mainstream, and that's where you land typically. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Now, was it one on your list, or you don't really? I
don't rank them. For me, I think. In my world, that's the most obvious because it dominates and it goes even beyond the, you know, like you said, it starts in 59, which is before we're doing, but the entire 60s run. And then you get into, actually, I have at least one 70s with me. So we'll make Sandy happen. So you creep into the 70s just barely. So like that's a good solid run for a set. So I think that's important.
Absolutely. I will take the screen and say I agree with both of you. That is in my Mount Rushmore. I have one Bazooka.
Nice.
And that's what cracks me up. Like, you know, to me it's obvious for several reasons that you guys already said. So the only I'll show my 68 Jim Bunning.
Good.
And the plan is to get a few more down the road. You know, I am the quote unquote budget collector, and you know, in a higher number, they're not cheap, you know. So I love a lot of the food issues that we're probably going to talk about in a little bit here. And I love them because they are inexpensive and you can get them at a discount, or not a discount, but at an affordable price. So I love the bazookas. We'll definitely add a few more. I will say this, I'll be totally honest with you guys. This is the first video I've ever done since I've been doing videos where I went out and purchased cards for the video. And I was going to pick up one or two bazookas, and I backed away. I said, I'm saving for something big in Strongsville. So I said, nope, don't do it. So, but yeah, so bazookas on my list too. If I had to rank it personally, It's hard not to make it one, but I'd probably make it two because there is a set out there that I like a little bit more. So, but we're all in agreement. So we're all down one on our four Mount Rushmore. So we'll take it back to Theo.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll just round robin it.
All right. The other thing is, Jason brings up a good point though about buying bazookas. They're pretty pricey now. I hear from a lot of the old heads out there that's been in the hobby all through the 90s. You could get them for a great price before people realized how scarce they were. Like people started looking at the pop counts, and granted, you got different, you got a panel, you got a box, and you got a card. So you got to put that all into factor, but they're very hard to find. A lot of the boxes didn't survive. But I'll move on to my number two. Is that what you guys want me to do? Move on to number two?
Yeah, whatever you can number them. You don't have to number them. Whatever you want.
Well,
What's next for you?
This is a pillar to me in the food issues of the 60s. It started off the decade very strong, and I just think it is well rounded, and I think it deserves a spot here. I have the post cereal set as my number two on my Mount Rushmore food issue cards. Here's 1961 Clemente. The 61 is unique because you could either cut it off of a box or you could actually mail in for it. So if you mailed in for it, this one here, if you could see, there's perforated little like edges down here. That was one that somebody got in the mail. You can pretty well tell when somebody cut it off a box. So that's 61, and then I got a bunch of 62s here. Here's one I got from Mookie Chilson. It was a pinhole card. There's a Bill Mazeroski from 62.
Awesome.
And then here is the Clemente from 62.
Nice.
Yeah, high grades.
I bought this ungraded, and
that's awesome.
Yeah. Here is my. I just got this recently. My Blue Line 62. So the blue lines are down there. It's a lot more scarce than the red line version.
Crazy. That's awesome.
Is that the same? So all of the blue lines are a little more scarce than the
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, any player. Yep. This is my favorite 60. This is actually my favorite post serial set. It's actually Canadian. 62 Canadian post serial. Look how that yellow pops. I love the post image up here in the corner. It's my favorite. I think they look awesome. They're a lot more scarce than the U.S. versions. I bought that one ungraded, and then my last one here is the 63 post serial, and I got that ungraded, and he got a 5.
Beautiful.
The key with these cards, especially the bazookas and the post serial, is you want to see the black lines. As crazy as that sounds for people, I think it's a travesty with bazooka, especially. It's a dash line. A kid's going to cut the dash line. They're not going to keep the dash line on. I think the grading company should have set a standard at some point of a minimum size standard and not looked at the lines. But that's my personal opinion on it. Either way, they're beautiful cards, and when I think of post serial cards, I always go back to the commercial they had. The kid gets like a Dick Groat card, and like Mickey Mantle shows up at his house. It's such a great commercial. I love it.
That's awesome. That is phenomenal.
That is excellent.
So I guess the question to you then, Aaron, is does post hit your Mount Rushmore?
So crazy thing, I can't even say that I'm done with my list, but I left it off.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Which is crazy. Like, I mean, I have lots. I have, a couple graded. I've got several, and I mean, there's, I've got the Maris, the year he has 61 homers on there. Like, that's awesome. Got a Nellie Fox. I also have one of those cool little Canadian issues with
nice.
Thanks. One of the things, LCS pickups, I share those every so often, but where else do you get a Harmon Killebrew for $5?
Right. Exactly.
Which means I probably paid $3 something for it. Like, that's insane.
Yep.
What a great value, especially if you get them when they're not cut with the lines, which I feel like you need like a bad art teacher to get a good grade on those things. That's
right. Right.
So,
the other thing I want to say about post serial cards, and A lot of people don't see the back panel. If you see a full back panel, it's like a kid would get like I think 8 cards on a back panel. Somebody could say in the comments exactly how many cards, but you were getting 6 to 8 cards on one cereal box. How awesome is that as a kid? And they're full size. They're full size cards. Like how freaking cool is that? You have all you could collect the set really quick. So
yeah. And mom was feeding you breakfast, so she accomplished something, and so did you. So
yeah.
All right. Well, then that said, so I guess Aaron, you have 3 still. That'll just be an honorable mention for you, right?
Yes, that's honorable mention.
Okay. You weren't on yours, Jason, either?
I'm going to say yes. Not only were they on mine, I rank mine. I ranked Bazooka 2. I ranked Post Serial 1.
Oh, okay.
I love the Post Serials. I love the Post Serials for several reasons. I love the stats on the front, on the bottom. I love the look of the images. I love how the yellow mixes. I have a few. They ran for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, at least U.S. I'm not familiar with Canadian, but it's 61, 62, and 63. But they are a budget buy, much like Aaron said. You can go into your your value box at your LCS, and some of these were picked up at my LCS at a value price. So I've got the 61 Mini Minoso, and they're all cut pretty clean. This was a couple dollars, my 61 Don Drysdale. I think he got a little pen mark on his face there, but I think it was $2. Why not? I've got a 61 Duke Schneider. And for all those, I'm sure you all know link backs, obviously, right? So nothing on the back. I have the rarer of the 62 because I just learned that 30 seconds ago from Theo, the Yastrzemski, and it's the blue line. So I thought that's why I asked when I was looking at the card. I'm like, oh, really? That's cool. And then probably this one could potentially, if you're one of those people who care, this one could possibly get a grade. I think the other ones I just showed would probably be cut too thin. I bought this at my LCS and it was $10, and it's the 63 Yogi, and it's got black border all the way around it. So that one might be one I would consider grading. I love everything about these cards. The look, the time period. You can get a lot of fantastic players. I just showed a hodgepodge, as you guys did, and I love the bazookas, but they are getting a little pricey when you're a value shopper, if you will. And of course, I'll add some. But these you could pick up for, like I said, dollars and maybe 10, 12, and then you get, ungraded, of course, if you're good with ungraded, and you can enjoy that collection all day long. So that's number 1 on my list. Nice. So Theo and I are 2 down, and you've got 3. So why don't we let I'll let you go first, Aaron, so you can go next, so you can.
Can I say one thing about the Post Serial before we go real quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aaron showed a Maris, and a lot of people at shows, the mantle card from that year is prevalent, and everybody goes, oh, it's a Post Serial card. Actually, Time Magazine had an insert where they advertised for the Post Serial set to kids in Time Magazine, and Maris and mantle card was on there. And those ones, I believe, all say on the back Post Serial or Post. And they don't have the cardboard on the back. But when you're at a card show, you'll see a lot of the mantles out there. You should look at the back. Not that some people don't care. Look, so that came from a Time Magazine. A lot of people, they don't care either way. I'm just saying that's how you know if it came from Time Magazine or it came off the cereal box. So
I seem to remember you doing a video about that, Theo, or talking to Mangini about that at one point in time. I remember that coming up once.
Yeah, I think we might have talked in the chat group about it.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. No, that's awesome information. That's fantastic.
Yeah, very cool. That's why you're
right,
bringing on the experts.
You get to pick one.
Oh, golly. Okay, so I'm almost regretting not having Post in there. What are you guys doing to me? Like I'm having like Mount Rushmore remorse all of a sudden. But I'll go 70s. I did pick a set that is, I think, completely 70s, and I'll show you why. But it's, for me, I love when a card, regardless of whatever reasons, looks like a card.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can pick up a alternative Ozzie Smith rookie,
nice.
To me, that's a win. So That's a 79 Hostess, and Hostess is very similar to Bazooka in terms of run. And it's weird. Like the Dale Murphy was extremely tough to come by. I was trying to find like a Dale Murphy rookie, and it doesn't exist. And I looked at the 79, and I had no idea that it was going to be scarce. And I saw one at auction, and I started comping it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not $4. What's going on here? And I actually ended up losing that one. So when that one came up, I was like, all right, let's do this. But I mean, you get, Eddie Murray rookie. So it's just something that's different. You can get, mid decade, grab a Nolan Ryan, grab, good golly, a whole bunch of Tom Seavers. Which to me, this is part of why I make my picks. To me, like having this run makes, and those are, I mean, there's a $4 price tag on that one.
Right.
There's a Hank that's not $10. So to me, that's part of the factor. It's affordable. It's a wide spread of years. Having kind of the real card factor to the back with some stats and stuff is neat. So I don't know if you guys dipped into the 70s too much, but Hostess to me was cool.
Theo, does Hostess hit your Mount Rushmore?
It does not have a Clemente, so it does not hit my Mount Rushmore. But I will tell you, when I was making my list, I was trying to be impartial, and as hard as it is, and I said Hostess was the one set or one company set that I was like, oh man, I love what they did. I always hear the guys that are in our group that have been collecting for a long time as kids. Like I think Mangini's one of them. He would think fondly about the times he would get the Hostess snack cake cards. I do think it's an iconic set, and they got some great players in there, like you said, Hank Aaron and all those great players. It's a great set, so I can't deny it. It's great. So
and you don't have any to show, do you, by chance?
No. Was their first year 74 or was it 75? I'm trying to think.
Let me see if I can figure it out.
I don't know first year of Kellogg's.
I'll put you guys on the spot.
I'm sorry, of Hostess.
I was gonna say I've got 75 is the earliest I've got, so okay. I don't know if they're before that or not, but that's as far back as I go.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Well, I'll swing it to me because that is on my list,
nice.
And that's 3 for me. So you guys are nailing me down real quick here. I again, same reasons I like Post, longer run, throughout the 70s, extremely affordable, and fantastic players. Everything I'm going to show you guys, it was easy to take notes on this, are 76's. So I've got my Carl Yastrzemski, and you showed the back. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Gonna have my Cardinals. Look at Lou Brock.
Nice.
Fantastic card. Thurman Munson. I don't have a lot of Thurman Munson, and I need to. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. So at some point in time, even if he doesn't get there, he's worthy of collecting, in my opinion. I've got a real beat up Tom Seaver, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Joe Morgan.
Nice.
Cool. Great images too.
Yeah, fantastic images. And again, all of these will probably be, again, with that dotted line, much like Theo was talking about with Post. I'm betting all of mine would be A's, that's all. And then my last one is my Rod Carew.
Nice.
So yeah, that, plentiful sets. Bazooka's plentiful. We mentioned it's getting pricey. Post for the 3-year run of the 60s is still pretty plentiful and affordable. And this is plentiful and affordable. It's perfect for me. So, that's 3 of my 4. So I'll take it back. We'll go back to Theo then.
Yeah.
Okay. I got 2 more left. So, these 2 are really tied for me. I got one that I love, but it's regional, and then I have one that was national, and I'm pretty much tied at this. But I'm thinking, because this is a Mount Rushmore for everybody, I better go with the more national pick here at number 3. In 1970, Kellogg's created the new technology, and they created baseball cards where you could move them, and it was I think they call them
they're called sport flicks, but the type of printing is called lenticular printing.
Okay.
It's called lenticular printing, and when it's motion printing.
Yes. So I did love this set. 70's my favorite of the Kellogg sets. Obviously, after Clemente quit playing, Kellogg's goes all the way into the 70's. This is my favorite Clemente Kellogg's card, also the 70 card. And similar to Hostess, I love the backs. Look at that. You got the MLB logo. You got all his stats. I mean, this is a legit card that you got out of a box of cereal. Like, you could not beat this. 1970. Yeah, go ahead.
The 70 set, Theo, is one of the best looking sets out there, in my opinion, of Kellogg's.
I agree. Look at the back of this one, though. This back is a lot better. They improved it. You got a little mini picture of Clemente up here. You got the Pirates logo. Like, it's legit. They knew what they were doing.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. And I actually got that. I actually got this card in a trade with Mike Petty. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So here's 72. 72, another great one.
Yeah.
And then the backs are almost identical. Same everything. But yeah, I mean 70, 71 and 72, so similar. But yeah, I love Kellogg's. Like I said, you could go way past 73 with them, but that's all I have because I don't collect any other players. So.
I will say this from a standpoint, if you're not familiar with the Kellogg sets, because of that lenticular printing, there's a plastic coating on them, and they have a tendency to crack. So if you're purchasing them without having them in hand, you got to look very carefully because there will be some out there that are starting to crack. So I always tell people, be real careful. And because of that printing, I think Orlando did a video on it maybe a month or two ago. If you don't have them in a card saver or a top loader, they can curl in time. They tend to curl. So you got to be real careful with, throwing that curled card into a top loader because then it'll crack the minute you do it. So just a little food for thought. So does the Kellogg's hit your Mount Rushmore?
For me, it did not.
Wow, it didn't. But you have some to show, I would imagine.
Which is almost frustrating again. Like I am having again decision making. Well, I mean, to me, that is one of the very best Johnny Bench cards.
Oh yeah,
that exists. I saw that and I was like, what the heck? Why do I not have that? 1970. And then what else do we got? I mean, there's such a crazy run. And again, I'll do the same. I mean, I'm talking myself into it, but when you do that, all those have
Seaver
card shop pricing. Yeah. And you span like the entire decade and it's all like $4, $1.50, $5, another Seaver. So this one just blows my mind.
Yeah, you really messed up your list, Aaron. We might want to start.
Am I off the show? Is this not? I'm
the new co-host.
Yeah,
I will tell you this: Kellogg's goes into the 90s. I mean, you can really go deep, and maybe when we're done with this, we'll show some honorable mentions. But there's a deep long run of Kellogg's from 70 on.
Man,
yeah,
such an iconic.
All right, so you have. So you still have two then, right, Aaron? Is that correct?
I'm feeling bad. Yeah, I'm doing horrible at this. What is wrong?
I'm going to take it, and the reason I'm going to take it is Theo named my fourth one, so I'm done as far as that. All for the same reasons that we've been discussing. I'll just show what I've got. You guys heard it already from Theo and Aaron. There's my 72 Fergie, and like Theo said, the little mini pictures in the back are awesome.
Yeah.
I got a 74 bench.
Nice.
And just beautiful cards. Great cards. Affordable as heck. There's my 74 Reggie.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, that's perfect. The yellow on the plaque and his name with the A's yellow, that's perfect. And then lastly, I've got a 76 Lou Brock. A little bit different design.
Yeah.
But very cool. So those are my 70s. I absolutely love the 70s set and need to stock up on a bunch of those. So, but I would probably go graded. I probably would because I love the way they look. They're phenomenal.
Awesome.
So we've got Theo's got. Well, I'm done. I mean, we'll do honorable mentions later. Those are my 4. Theo's got 1. So let's. Well, you've got 2, right, Aaron?
Yeah. He does.
Let's
Yeah,
take it to you. We'll take it to
well, I
you.
was going to say I am 97% sure that if I show my 3rd, it's going to be Theo's 4th.
I think so too, and I don't own one if I'm correct. But go ahead.
Well, let me show and see if we can match, and you can show me what it's supposed to look like, because mine looks like it had a bunch of wieners on it.
What she said.
Yes, I'm looking. I'm honestly looking. Hopefully, this is an adult-only show, but I'm looking for a T-shirt, a Cons T-shirt that has that slogan on it. I would wear that at Strongsville all day.
The world of Wayne. I'm gonna have one made for you.
Yeah,
That is cool.
That's definitely not classy, but yeah, I mean, these are almost by design going to be stained and creased, but same thing. The run is so extensive. The back is so neat. I mean, they go so much into like ancestry, like Clemente's ancestry is Spanish, Puerto Rican, Negro, single, obtained, drafted from Brooklyn. Like, it's like the dating game. They're giving like his full bio. He's single at that point. Like, that's crazy. And then later on, I just grabbed another example, but you get into the later part of the decade, and you get into these ones where that one's trimmed a little bit more than it should be. But even in that condition, Cons are so tough to get. You see it, you're like, do I want a little bit too cut up or just not to have it? So I went with a little bit too cut up Hank Aaron. But I only have a couple of Cons from the 60s. I actually have more 50s than I do 60s, but
Cons started in 59, is that correct, or earlier?
I have 56 Frank Robinson.
Oh, that's right. Okay, absolutely. All right. So then the question being, since I'm done, Theo, is does Cons hit your list?
Yes, it does hit my list. You can't have a food issue list and not have a wiener card, all right? So Cons was the wiener card of the 60s. The only problem is, like I said, is it was regional. You had Reds players and you had Pirates, and I think that's it, right? Reds players and Pirates players, right? I'm trying to think now, but it was
until later.
Yeah.
So here's the first one I'll show. It's a 1960 Dick Groat. I have saved searches on Dick Groat and Clemente, and I got this buy it now for $8. I felt like I hit a lottery ticket because
no kidding.
Excited when I get deals.
And that looks nice.
Oh, it's real nice. It's real nice. Yeah, so that's 1960. So qualifies in the 60s. Here's a 62 Groat. The other thing about the Cons cards, they picked out some great photos. Like you can't get this on a Topps card. You got him ready to turn a double play. You got the facsimile signature up there. There's one of Mazeroski that I want to get. I think it's the same year, 62. Or is it 63? Yeah, 62, where he's jumping up in the air to turn to throw the ball for a double play. It's like it's a classic photo. I love it. And then my only Clemente Cons card is the biggest hole in my collection right now is the 64. I believe this is the first year Cons did the color photos. And like Aaron was saying, this has hot dog juice on it, but I love it because it tells the story that this was in a pack of hot dogs. And they actually did have a run there, 50s going into 60s, where you'll see high-grade Cons cards because you could actually mail in for the Cons cards, and they weren't in the package of hot dogs. So if you're at a show and you see like a PSA 7 Clemente, there's a good chance it was never in a package. So I do believe the high year, like 64, 65, 66, you couldn't mail in for those years. So you're never going to see them that pristine. But it's interesting, and they are because of them being regional and because they had grease on them and everything like that. They're very scarce. I think that the highest or the Clemente card that's graded the most is the one I have, and it's still under 200 graded. The 64, it's still under 200. So you're looking at very, very scarce regional set. So you're paying a pretty penny to buy these cards. So Aaron, when you want to get rid of that Clemente, give me a call. I know you want to upgrade it, so I will take that from you. I'll buy it off you. Okay, so let me know.
I would consider that for you, but I'm the king of downgrade. If I could find one that had like a bite in it and save a few bucks, I'd probably go that route.
All right, when you downgrade that, let me know.
Yeah,
I will tell you, boys, I do not own one. It would have hit my top 4. It probably would have replaced Hostess in my 4. I didn't have, and I don't own one. And then I was going to buy one, and I'm like, it ain't going to get here in time for our video. So I said, again, I'm saving, so I'll just stick with what I have and kind of move forward from there. But fantastic, fantastic cards. I was actually looking at a 59. So I would have had it cheap because I would have said, well, it's technically 59, but yeah, fantastic set. I love it.
Yeah. Do you have the Frank Robinson near you? Because it's an alternative rookie card. I mean, it's regional, but do you have it near you or no?
It's a pre-rookie, technically. Yeah.
It's pre-rookie.
Do I have it near me? Maybe. Let me look.
I'd love to.
Now that's it for you, Theo. Right? You've got your 4. So
I got my 4, and I think it's the right 4. But
yeah, we got Mr. Obscure over there. What's he going to pick up from the 60s and the 70s? Who knows?
Yeah, I got a couple things sitting around here. I have a guess of what he's going to pick. I don't know if he wants me to guess it, but we'll see what he gets.
Yeah, I've got kind of 3 honorable mentions that fall within these 2 decades as well. One of them I really enjoy. I love them, but I just don't think they were worthy of being on this list when you're talking mass produced or more produced stuff and more affordable stuff, although they're fairly affordable. So.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I must have sorted that out. Darn.
It's all right, Aaron. Don't worry about it. That Robinson, though, it's pretty scarce, right? I don't ever see it.
Yeah, there's like a few dozen of them.
Jeez.
So I think I have Frank Robinson's entire 50s run.
Nice.
So we're kind of, off the beaten path. But actually, I just saw this card show. This is another one I think that's just amazing.
That's
fantastic. 59 Minoso.
That is fantastic. Dang, I need that.
And there's dozens of those. There's not, like when you talk about the populations, 200 does sound like that's the overprint year. Like most of them are 50, 80, maybe 100, but I think that one was like 30 or 40 of. But I obviously have one ungraded, so who knows what the real number is. So
yeah, that's the thing with Clemente. You kind of know with a cons card, pretty much a lot of it's graded. Plus a lot more kids might have kept,
except for Aaron.
Yeah, except my beater over here.
Plus, he was good. He really was established at that time, so a kid would maybe be more prone to keep it, save it. You know what I mean? But
yeah, absolutely.
That's true. Yeah, that's the part I always wonder is like, is there? I always round off and just say like, if Babe Ruth is the real population, but you're right. I mean, if you had a Dick Groat and a Clemente, you might be like, Clemente, keep it. Who's this guy? And maybe that's the one you trade or you toss, or your mom didn't hear of it and got rid of it. So you're right. It could just be that there's less in existence. So
all right, you're the final straw here. What are you picking? Now Theo's got a guess. So once you show it, I'm going to see if he was correct or not.
Well, I'll hold it down here and I'll move it up the screen once he says.
Okay, perfect.
Your guess? You're trying to match what I have?
I got your guess.
You only have one more, right? I believe.
I'm done. Yeah, he's got one more.
So this one, is it 1964?
No.
You'd almost have to have like watched a video or been in a text chat with me. So when we're going through Mount Rushmores, I was kind of thinking in terms of it should be like iconic, but there's also that like lure, what's the Mount Rushmore of like cards, like the T206 Wagner, even though we can't all bust one out, like that would be there. If it's not, right, like I'm going to disqualify you as a collector, I think at that point, like that has to be on the list of top 4 cards.
Yeah.
So I went with one that I knew nobody else would have, not to be stinky head, but I didn't know it existed until I saw it for sale.
Oh, yes.
So it's this silly thing, which it's a 1964 Penafiel, which is a water company, bottled water, so it is food or food and beverage if we're going to go that route.
Right.
Distributed in Mexico. The highest population, so it's a lot of players from the league down there, and then it's some U.S. players, most of them historical. So I have Hornsby. There's a Joe DiMaggio. There's Ruth. There's Gehrig.
Wow.
There's not many others. There's Koufax. The Dodgers, I guess, did some tours down there, so they have a lot of Dodgers available. But like Koufax and Lou Gehrig are the two with the highest population between PSA and SGC, and there's 3.
Wow.
So
that is scarce. And that's recent for you, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yeah, this is very recent. Yeah, so there's 2 of these graded. There's a 4, and then there's this one.
Okay.
PSA has not seen this card yet. So, and the crazy thing is, like when I looked at the front, I'm like, that's like a 6. Like that's really nice. The back, apparently, somebody must have stuck it into a scrapbook or something. There's just a little bit of residue in the corners, but you can read everything. Like that's my dream card. That's how you ruin a card, because nothing's really wrong with it.
Right. It's cheaper for me and still amazing.
Yeah. Well, and if you look at the sales, I don't have any of the paid, pricing things, but like 130 point, there's only 2 sales. There's Babe Ruth this year, and then there's mine, which mine's not even quite accurate because I found a way around that. But the Ruth was a 1.5, and it went for a lot.
So to quote my buddy Aaron at Value Vintage Cards, that card is not dozens of dollars.
No, well, mine feels reasonable
Okay.
for what the other one was. I mean, anybody can look it up. The Ruth went for 12,000.
Wow, that's great. That might be cheap, actually.
Right.
Yeah, Ruth's a pop 2, so maybe it's the post playing days stigma or something. But I felt like for me, like that set is just so neat. I think that deserves some like chase status, some like super cool status. I love the colors. I love the players in the set. I'll never even probably want another one of them unless Garrett comes up for Dick Groat money where it's like $8 and you're like, wait a minute.
What happened?
He doesn't know what he has.
Yeah,
I'm buying this.
that's kind of silly. Hold on, let's do that. But yeah,
Well,
for the most part,
I would honestly tell you, we were all pretty much in line, right? You differed with that set there and Cons, right?
yeah,
That
Me
was
and
the
him
only
were
difference.
calling, right?
yeah.
Right.
And
You and I, Theo, were right on the money. We picked all 4 the same.
No, you didn't pick Cons.
Oh, I didn't pick Cons. You're right.
You picked
You're right, my bad.
Hostess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I I had 3 of Theo's, 3 of yours, I think. And
Yep.
Aaron, or 3 or 2. You didn't pick Popes.
Two of mine. You
Yeah,
have 2 of
'cause you
mine
didn't-
because
right,
you didn't
right.
have Cons or obviously the little Penafeel, which is ridiculous. But
Yeah, I
That would
think
have been it'd have been awesome if Theo whipped it out and said, "Yeah, I can match."
yeah, he's like, no Clemente, but I have the Koufax. I'm like, damn.
Right.
the ultimate flex. Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
he has
why
the
don't we
4.
we'll give it to Theo. We'll get into some honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Okay. I got some sitting here on the desk. I want to think here. I'm not going to go in order of what. Should I go in order of what barely missed the cut? Nah, I'll start with this. This is for my friend Dom from Saving Sports Cards. When I think of Dom, I think of Milk Dud cards, and
Yes, sir.
this is an awesome set. Cut it right off the box. One of my collecting goals is to get a Clemente Milk Duds box. They're not impossible to find; they're just expensive. So I got this at the National this year, and I love it. I got a 2 because I guess they cut off too many of the edges, but I think it looks awesome. The back's super clean too. So
Yeah, that is clean for a blank back.
I mean, that's my only Milk Duds card, and the only reason it wasn't in consideration is because it just had that 1 year. So I just felt like it's not enough. So
Is that 71, right?
yeah, 71. Yep.
Yeah, because I highlighted that as a item that I don't have, but I would have loved to have talked about as well. Would have definitely been in my honorable mentions. How about you, Aaron? You have
Yeah.
honorable mention?
Well, I pulled it, and I pulled everything just in case. So I only have 2.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The player collector aspect of it, I'll take the Seaver and I'll take the Banks, and we'll call it good. So, yeah, they're a really cool set. But yes, same thought.
Yep.
They're pricey too. I feel like
Yes.
for what you might guess, they're a little bit more than you thought. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
All
Cool
right,
stuff.
do you have an honorable mention to boot with it?
Something else to go with? Let's see. Well, I'm trying to think what else. Theo, if you break one of these out, you might have this card actually, seeing the way you collect.
Okay. Oh, I wish I had that. That's a dream one.
No?
There's a Dick Groat and a Clemente, and they're so
I know. All I got's the Groat, and the Groat is not crazy. The Groat's milk dud money. That's not crazy. It's the Sugardale it's the Clemente that's a car. Yeah.
I'll buy that Groat off of you.
Yeah. It's my only one.
Put it in my stack.
Man, Jeannie will make fun of me if I don't have one anymore.
You sound like me talking to Sammy on Cardboard and Cold Ones. Like, yeah, add it to the list. Just add it. I'll see you in Strongsville.
Strongsville, yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. That is awesome. Now, my stuff isn't going to be quite as earth-shattering as Aaron's is. I like kind of the different stuff, and I'm glad we said food and beverage because I've got one of each of the years, the Salata tea by Junket Brands. So this is the 62, which were plastic backs. This one happens to be black. They were different colors. This is Sherm Lawler, catcher for the White Sox from back in the day. And I absolutely love that. And then I also have the 63, which were tin. And the first time I saw these was, of course, my good friend Scott at Stukes Collectibles and Curiosities. I think he has, if I'm not mistaken, the entire 63 set, if I'm not mistaken. But I love the round little discs. They remind me of the Slurpee discs from back in the day. And, you know, if we go beyond the decades, if there's time, then I brought some of those as well. But those were two items I definitely wanted to share and thought were fantastic.
Yeah, there's my.
Yeah, there they are. Perfect.
So, some people say, "Well, what's junket?" Junket was actually pudding. So these were when you got them out of a junket, they were in a box of pudding. So that's really cool.
I know Salata is Junket brand by Junket brand. So maybe it's the pudding company that made the tea as well. Then.
Yeah. The Junket brand is a dessert brand, but I believe it's all the same conglomerate type thing. Yep, and then there's 63.
Awesome.
But, I had that as an honorable mention, so we matched on that one.
Did you, Aaron, have it as an honorable mention?
I actually almost grabbed them and I didn't pull them off the shelf.
Okay. off the giant shelf.
They're literally like right here. Yeah, I've got a few of them. I've got a couple at least. Actually. Geez, of all the things to like cart, I have two Nelly Foxes. What am I doing?
Oh, I need a Nelly. Which one is that? Is that plastic or tin? That doesn't matter.
I think they're actually different backs though.
Yeah, there's different colors, and then 62 was plastic.
It's like Sheriff and then Salata.
Oh, Sheriff's more rare.
Yeah.
Is it? Well,
Sheriff should be potato chips, I believe.
Okay. Well, look at me learning stuff. And then I got
exactly.
little Aparicio as well. So yeah, I have a few of them, but not a whole lot.
Perfect. Well, I guess we could. I've only got two more. Do you want to rapid fire a few, Theo, and then and Aaron, you can rapid fire a few.
Yeah, let's rapid fire because we're getting close to time.
Yeah.
I will tell people that what I've seen is the sheriff coins are a lot more scarce than the Salata junket. So if you see a sheriff at a show, especially like a big name player like a Clemente or an Aaron, here's my Nabisco cards.
Yes.
So this one here's wide border. I just got this recently. They're a lot more scarce than the narrow border, and by border I mean that yellow around the player. I'm so excited. I'm going to get this in an SGC slab, but it's phenomenal, to be honest with you. I'm so excited about the copy I got there. But Nabisco, similar to Post, the bunch of these mini cards were on the back of the box, and you had like 8 or so cards on the back of the box on the panel. Then I'll show my only Jello card. I got this as a gift from Matt from the Card Story, 1963 Jello. Let me pull out the Post. So a lot of people say, well, what's the difference between these two? Okay. The main difference is the Jello is actually more wide. It's actually wider up and down because the Jello was on the back of a Jello box, just one card, and you cut it off. It's more wide than the postcard. So they're very hard to tell the difference though when you're at a show. So there's Jello. I still need one more Clemente Jello card, and then here is a wild card. So Dexter Press was actually, you mailed this in. It's the I believe it's a Coca-Cola company, and you mailed in for the Dexter Press photos. So this should be 67, and then here's the 68. So I don't know how much you mailed in for, how many caps you had to mail in and stuff, but I figure that's food issue in my opinion.
Yeah. I didn't even grab mine. I've got the 68 Aaron, the Dexter Press postcard of Aaron. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. I was coming up with one 20 minutes before we were doing this. I'm like, oh wait, I've got this. So those are awesome. How about you, Aaron?
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, you're hitting stuff I don't necessarily even have. I do have a Nabisco.
Nice. Nolan Ryan?
Seaver.
Oh, Seaver, nice.
Yeah, so
awesome.
I've got
images.
Seaver that's decent. If we're rapid firing, I'm going to go through as much as I can. I'm going to keep Mark happy. Let me get him in order. The Bell.
Yeah. Bell
60,
brand.
61, 62 Koufax Bell brand. That was one that would have been in contention if it was a little bit either wider years or anything other than Dodgers, obviously. The breadth of players. One of my favorite cards in existence, the Morel Meets 1960. Right. I love that card. I think that's just phenomenal.
Wow.
What else? I don't know. I only have a few more, I guess. This one's Clemente might not be in it. I don't know. 64 Wheaties.
I actually I forgot to pull it down. I do have one.
Okay. Good.
So I don't mean to interrupt. I've got the one in your left hand coming to me in the mail, but it didn't get here in time. 64 Wheaties. I did purchase the Nelly.
And talk about crazy. So you got Nelly in like the serving size tray case, and then you got this one in a standard case. And K-Line's actually autographed, so that's kind of cool.
That's very cool. I think those are fantastic. Oh, let me show. See?
Yeah, nice. The 61 photo, which is one of my favorite photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a stamp book, Wheaties stamps.
Yeah.
You put them in the book. But go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah.
Actually, Orlando just did a video today on the 64 football stamp book. Nice. And he's got the entire book with the stamps in them. And because of you guys, I actually purchased one. It just didn't get here in time.
That's awesome. Now, the only thing I was going to say, kind of going along with the LK line, the post box from 1960.
Wow.
I love these are really tough, and it is autographed and certified. So
that's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, those are tough. I think that's everything I've got, minus I did bring out, I don't know how this didn't make our list, is some Burger King action.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that when we were chatting the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I don't have it.
Your Burger King.
So what I like about it, 78. So instead of getting those like multiplayer rookies of Trammell and Whitaker, you can get individual cards.
Awesome.
And the backs, I mean, they're just regular old Topps cards. And then 79, I just like you get like different images on some of them.
That's cool.
So just kind of neat. Just fun stuff. So
yeah, I agree. I will show the two that I have, and then we'll wrap it up. This is the only one that I own, and it is the Armour Hot Dogs coins. So the coins were made in 55, 59, and 60. They come in different colors. If you guys aren't familiar with that, I happen to have the red Nelly Fox. Very difficult to see who it is. I will tell you I'm cheating because the only difference in them is the back. So this is theoretically the 59. If you look, I actually had to take a magnifying glass to see which one this was. And it's the 59. I'm like, okay. So, but 60 looks the same. He's just got his 59 stats on it. And then I'm going to go way out of bounds here. and I'm gonna say 72 Icy Bear. I know
Nice.
we're a baseball heavy channel, but I love the Icy Bear set, and I'm gonna be adding a bunch more from this set because I absolutely love it. So,
Beautiful.
so there's our Icy Bear.
Yeah,
So yeah,
those are amazing.
They're just
yeah,
so
that's
iconic.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
I bought that with our mutual friend Aaron Joe
Oh,
when we were at the show together. So I think he
great.
picked up one too, if I'm not mistaken. He might have gotten the Jerry West, if I'm not mistaken, or he had it already. I don't remember.
Maybe. Yeah, he got somebody I've got, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I love that set. So
Yeah.
and again, who turned me onto that set? Mangini. The first time he showed those, I fell in love with them. So,
Nice.
well, that's it, guys. I think we killed it. You know,
Yeah.
we
Well
got to
done.
show tons of different issues. A lot of it, of course, Aaron's showing the scarcest stuff in the world, but a lot of it isn't common stuff you see on most channels. So I think that's awesome. That's an absolute blast.
And I love Theo's focus, and that's, to me, that's the fun of this, is getting to hang out with folks we don't get to talk to every day, and getting to know you a little bit. Theo is awesome, but it's cool just to like highlight your collection, because I think you think Theo, you think Clemente, but you have such a specialization that you get some breadth within like this really unique topic. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's one of the things I love about focusing on a player that played for so long, is I'm able to see the history of baseball cards for that period. Similar to like John 3D 80's kids, where he's trying to collect 2 of each player from each year. I'm similar. I'm seeing everything, including food issue. So it's really fun.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Yeah, and for those who all of you probably know Theo, he is not just a Clemente collector. We saw the Groat. I know you're a museal guy as well, so there's other stuff out there, but shoot, one player, like you said, and you get to see the entire history of food issue and standard cards from that time, from the time he started to the time he was done, which is fantastic. So
yeah,
it's super cool.
Thanks,
all right,
guys.
gentlemen. Well, no, I appreciate you jumping on. This was an absolute blast, guys, and we got through it quick and got to show a lot of cool stuff. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Be on the lookout for our next episode. This isn't a regular thing, so we kind of are sporadic with it, but we'll have one coming out in the near future, and then we'll talk at that point in time. So thanks again for jumping on, everybody. Bye-bye.
See ya.